The majority of them wore one version or another of the general's facial expression: expectant and focused. 3 of them, however, looked out of place, more fearful, more tenuous than the rest of the crew. 1 man, 2 women, all of them sitting together, their eyes darting from one to the other. The general caught the eye of the woman closest to him. Early 20s, cute rather than pretty, short and athletic, her sandy hair was roped up in dreadlocks and a hoop ring pierced her nose. "Are you ready, Mouse?" the general asked. Mouse gazed at the general as if he were some kind of prophet, saying, "It's time to make them pay for the hell they've inflicted on people." Approval rumbled through the helicopter's belly. The pale blond man beside Mouse spoke with a thick French accent. "Time to light the fire under their fat asses." "It is, Christophe," the general agreed. "Rose, are you not well?" The miserable-looking brunette with the big nose sitting next to Christophe said, "If this shaking keeps up, I'm going to puke all over myself. I'm not used to this kind of crap. I don't know if I could do the rappel in the second zone." The general's features hardened. "You'll do it or I'll throw you out the door." Rose moaned and hung her head between her knees. The general's attention moved deeper into the cavity of the helicopter to a massive black man with a baseball-like head sitting atop crossbar shoulders. "Truth, get your troops ready," he said. "Landing zone 2. Truth wiped a boxing mitt of a hand across his muzzle. "Laden loads? We're already stripped of the essentials. We're just going to have to suck it up." The pilot shouted, "Quarter mile, General!" The general twisted back to look out the windshield. Snow was falling like hundreds of white whirlpools on the radically steep, shale-strewn hillside. The footing would be treacherous. "175 yards and closing," the pilot said, watching the readout on his U.S. military spec GPS. Truth and 2 men moved several large rubberized duffel bags toward the side door, which they slid open. Frigid air and swirling snow blasted the inner cabin and brought with them the piney smells of the forest. "There's your cliff!" the pilot cried. The general spotted a narrow balcony of rock jutting from the woods, off the side of a gorge 200 feet deep. He pointed at gnarled old pines growing off the near side of the point. "Come about and keep your nose on those trees," he told the pilot. "If you're on your game, you won't shear the rear blades and kill us all." The pilot squinted in fear and eased the stick forward. The chopper hovered forward over the stony balcony. Ever so slowly, trembling like a compass confused by magnets, the nose of the ship came around. "Go!" the general roared. A pair of climbing ropes were flung out the door. Truth lifted the rappelling rack attached to his chest harness, clipped it to the rope, and went out the open side door. He carried a heavy pack with several grenades strapped to the back. He slid from view. The others followed. The general shouldered his pack last, put on goggles, and leapt out the door, sliding down the rope, swinging wildly in the wind. Truth held the rope at the bottom and helped the general off. The general walked the razorback, holding his hands out from his sides like a tight-wire artist, then reached the main cliff and entered the woods on a game trail, moving toward voices ahead. Behind him, the rubber duffel bags were lowered successfully. The first helicopter lifted away, and a second chopper took its place, disgorging more troops and supplies. The general slipped through the trees toward the bottom of the rock slide where his soldiers were gathering. He tugged at the brim of his white wool hat, transforming it into a hood with holes cut for eyes, nose, and mouth. He crept into the embrace of a snow-laden fir tree. In his camouflage, the general was, for all intents, invisible, listening, gauging the people he was leading, looking for any weakness. In the clearing, a lanky man in his late 20s with dark features and a gold front tooth yanked off a glove and with his free hand tugged up the collar of his coat. "We're taking this to a whole other level now," he said in an Oklahoma twang. "This is a goddamn throwing down the gauntlet."